asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto, and every day on this channel, we teach you how to make money with digital assets, and Bitcoin is pumping to a new all-time high. The alts are pumping. Cardano's up 20%. Bitcoin's pumping. ETH is up. XRP is up. The meme coins are up. Everything is just shooting to the moon, and we told you we will moon soon after June. Did you listen? We said buy before July. It's going to get high. And all I'm asking now is just hit that like button if you listen to DZ's advice. I'm joined today. TJ is back. Just got done adjusting the camera. It was the glare from the bald chrome dome.
And I'm muted. So now I'm really here.
Hey,
by the way, that is a trick I do for engagement. Gets everybody to comment, but not really. So yeah, I was zooming it for it was catching the monitor in there. So, but missed you guys. Seems like every time I'm working on something big and I have to not be on the show, price just takes off and goes crazy, and I don't get to hang out and talk with you guys. But I was in the Discord hanging out with all of you guys. You guys crushed it on trades yesterday. I know people following Josh. Josh did good. Drew crushed a bunch. I mean, all of us crushing those trades. It's been fun. So yeah, happy to be back. Loving the prices. And like DZ said, we've been telling you guys June and July was going to be fun. And, you know, altcoins are going to start moving later in the summer. Wait till we get to rate cuts, blah, 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 blah. Like everything's happening almost exactly like we predicted it. It's almost like we've been doing this before, and Bitcoin is following a similar pattern.
Yeah, I did a little fart scalp, and I'm in a little Aave scalp right now.
Nice.
Just kind of checking, trading the uptrend, and we're near a potential breakout. So if we do the breakout there, it's going to be a very, very good trade. I'll reveal it later on, though, everybody. And we're going to have just a great stream today because Bitcoin is pumping. So let's go over some of the prices here. I want to hit refresh just because the markets are moving so strongly. XRP is now up 14.7%. Of course, Bitcoin is pumping. It's up 6.2%. Right now, trading directly at $118,000. We're going to check the Bitcoin charts, check on that head and shoulders pattern. Solana up 6.9%. Doge 13.7%. How about that 20% pump for Cardano? If you hold Cardano, smash that like button because 20% is just a major, major move. We were talking about the Cardano pump basically all week. I was throwing out the charts, and now we're seeing it come to fruition. And we see some other strong alts pumping 10%. Sui's up, Chainlink's up 10%. XLM, the holders are up there. We were talking about XLM a week ago, and now it is up 43%. Talking about that technical pattern, looks like it finally started playing out there. There really isn't anything that is dumping. I think we have stable coins, kind of, Leo token, always down on the green days, always green on the red days. But then it's just nothing but stables. But big movers, we got some major movers. This one's a newer meme. I'm supposing Meme Core Story is up 33% today. Say is up 23%. Athena 22%. But Cardano with the giant market cap, very, very impressive with the 20% pump. Injective, Stellar, Algorand, Optimism, WorldCoin. This is alt season, everybody. How does it feel? Just soak in the vibes for a minute.
Yeah, just breathe it in. This is the season where you, the last thing you do before you go to sleep is check the charts. And the first thing you do when you wake up is check the charts. If you slept at all, I mean, it's getting very, very hard to go to sleep. Everybody in the Discord was asking yesterday, where's Steady Bug on live support? DZ's Peanuts there with the super chat. I'm sure he's still hanging around, but yeah, prayers. We all went in heavy under 80K, bought big 74, 76, 77K, and he told us that we were fools because it was going to 50 or 40, and feeling pretty good about those choices right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the bears. We're going to talk about the who got wrecked, and we're going to go over why exactly Bitcoin pumped today. And we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive on each of those. Of course, we're going to look at the Cardano chart. We got a poly market predictions for the rest of the year. What is Bitcoin's next move? Let's see where the big whales are placing their bets. Now, let's look at a Bitcoin 1 minute chart here. really just trading sideways. No one's in control. The bulls, the bears, they're still just kind of hesitantly waiting at the moment. We go to the 5-minute chart. We're going to look at this yellow line in a minute, and you can see you just kind of stuck within this range. If you had what direction are you thinking here, TJ? Is it going to be up, or the bears going to be in control and force us to head down?
This is the 1 minute.
This is now we're on the 5-minute.
5-minute. I'll take. Look, I'm a perma bull. I'll always say up. There is, I'm sure, some longs that could get wiped out. I saw some
mini bull flag even.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it's coming up, and yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. You zoom back a little bit, it looks really good. So
we could do a little technical pump to $121,000 just off this little bull flag.
I'm seeing 120. I'm seeing a lot of people calling for like a 150 off a bull flag extension on a longer time frame, which is even stronger. So yeah, I'm seeing now. I've got a huge chunk of capital that I haven't been able to get in yet. That
time frame,
and I'm just waiting. Like, please give me a little bit of time. I'm gonna have it in like 60 days or so. So now I'm just hoping I can get it in before the rate cuts and it all runs away. Because
how about that head and shoulders pattern playing out? You know, Caleb Franzen, I believe, was the first one to see this. And I'm going to tell you what is important about November 7th. November 7th, something just happened today, yesterday, past 24 hours, that is remarkably similar to what happened right here, November 7th. We're going to go into that and see if Bitcoin replicates this move, and then maybe even do a little bit of a measure for a potential price target. Now, the head and shoulders played out beautifully, of course, and the head and shoulders does have a pattern or a technical target. So we'll just repeat it for the people who maybe weren't here yesterday. And that has given us a nice little target of $147,000 Bitcoin. So we got a target with 121, target with 147. And many people are saying you're not bullish enough because Bitcoin's going to 200K.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
That's me. I'm one of those people.
How about that XRP head and shoulders that we pointed out yesterday? I wanted to pull this up because it looked like it played out literally perfectly.
Wow.
What we predicted yesterday. We were, of course, just doing the classic TA analysis here where you measure from the neckline to the top of the head. And I'll be damned if that didn't basically give us the target for XRP. Now trying to go even higher as the bulls are just trying to say, oh, you're going to short XRP? We're going to keep on pumping and you're going to lose all your money. But speaking of people losing all their money shorting Bitcoin, we do have, I'm looking at Aave here. Let's go to BTC.
Real quick while you're pulling that up, just, Steve-O here, XRP is a meme coin, will do well in price action at times and the centralized masters will dump it. Looking at it, we're getting close to price discovery on some of these things. XRP being one of those altcoins that, once it breaks out over $3, it starts to get into some of that uncharted territory where Bitcoin is right now. It could really run. I'm still more XLM heavy than XRP. You guys know I'm not a big believer in XRP, but at this point in the cycle, that is when those things can move. So price discovery is a great time to get in on it. I still prefer XLM, which generally moves a little bit more than XRP because the lower market cap has more utility with the RWA play. But yeah, this is the time, man. XRP and ADA, somebody said this to me this morning, is having massive pumps is going to be part of what brings retail back into crypto.
Yeah, I would agree. Doge pumping, Cardano pumping, XRP pumping to new all-time highs. That will get people more excited than Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs. And if you need proof of that, look at all the action of the last 6 months. Retail has been sidelined, and we're going to go over Google Trends as well. Do want to give a warning to a liquidity magnet. Things are trying to pull Bitcoin down to $112,000. It's going to be a lot of liquidations, hundreds of millions, potentially billions at this point, if Bitcoin does dip down that below. But we do have a magnet to the upside, $119,000. If we go the smaller time frame on the 12-hour, to give us a little bit more of an accurate reading, just above the swing high here, 118,900. So right at 119, and then 119 and some change right there. So these people will get wrecked. Liquidations, they lose their money. The exchanges make all the money if Bitcoin goes this high. And I did a little short on how to read a liquidation heat map yesterday. So go check out our short form content. We're starting to crank out more of that stuff. But let's talk about why the heck Bitcoin is rallying. I got all the reasons for you. So if your coworker asks you later, your significant other, your friends, your family members call you up this weekend, should I buy Bitcoin? Now you have a little bit extra data points to give their way. So why exactly are we hitting new all-time highs? Well, number one, according to this article, at least we got a few reasons. Institutional inflows on the ETFs. ETFs are taking center stage. $1.18 billion poured into the Bitcoin ETFs just this week. BlackRock's ETF alone attracted nearly $450 million in a single day. HODL 15 sums up BlackRock's accumulation quite well with this. So yesterday, 4,000 Bitcoin they bought up on behalf of their clients. They have 4,600 and 1,500. Quite the green week right there when it comes to accumulation. Then we had a holiday weekend. We got 2,000 here, 1,000 here. So still accumulating. Basically, we're not seeing any selling. We're seeing another week accumulation, another week super strong accumulation. 6,000 on the 16th of June. Remember, only 450 Bitcoin are mined each day. There's Bitcoin released every 10 minutes, and in a 24-hour period, 450 are created. Just yesterday, they bought 4,000. And so this is part of the reason. All right, reason number 2, Bitcoin pumped, everybody. Pro-crypto U.S. policies. We got, some of the older stuff, the new EO for Bitcoin reserves. We got Congress, though, advancing 3 different bills. This is what's actually important here. The 3 bills, Genius Bill, it's going to be number 1, as I highlight the whole article. Clarity Act, it's going to be number 2, very sensitive mouse there. And then number 3 is going to be the Anti-CBD Surveillance Act. We're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive in this in a second. Reason number 3, DXY. The DXY is down. When you look at the chart, this is the strength of the dollar on the daily chart relative to other currencies. And you can see from January 10th, after the Trump pump, basically this is the start of the tariff wars, the dollar's value has fallen 12% relative to the euro and a few other currencies. I'm drawing a blank on. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know. So the dollar's losing value. That's going to create value for Bitcoin. Reason number 4, supply crunch. The holders, they're not selling. Bitcoin flows to exchanges 10-year low, meaning fewer coins are available for sale even as demand soars. And we've covered that. It's around 2 million. Then we have the short squeezes. $1 billion in shorts were liquidated as the bears got caught off guard. This created a cascade of forced buying. This accelerated the rally. And then what's next? Look around 118 and 122. We just kind of looked at some of those levels there. So let's get into, just a little bit of a dive into these 3 crypto bills. This, to me, TJ, this is kind of what you were saying. Mm-hmm. This is really what's fueling the pump, in your opinion. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, yes, in a very macro way. Obviously, this is part of why when we started telling you guys months and months ago, even a year ago, that this was going to be coming, it was based on this information coming down the pike. The Clarity Act happened. Yes, I think something came through Monday or Tuesday. Something changed.
It passed the Senate. We still got to go to the House, if I'm not mistaken. We'll go into that in a second.
And the Genius Act, the stable coins, there's been a lot of big regulatory changes that allows banks and some of the richest asset allocators in the world to participate now who had previously been held out due to regulations. The other kind of minor thing I wanted to mention, so these are all the macro reasons Bitcoin's going up for sure. Mm-hmm. We did get a lot of questions yesterday, like why did Bitcoin have that snap like $3,000 to $5,000 candle in a couple minutes and then I go and I don't see that anything happened. There wasn't some major announcement that happened a few minutes ago. And a lot of times, almost every time you see God candles like that, it's massive amounts of shorts being liquidated. So there was a huge pile up. I think it was close to $1 billion of shorts that got liquidated in the course of like 30 minutes yesterday. A ton of people piled up to short 112, right around previous all-time high, calling it a double top. We're going to short this thing to the ground. And then when price broke through that, got up towards that 115, boom, they got liquidated. When it broke 112, get liquidated and it runs up real quick because, or they get closed, so closing shorts or liquidations off, on the order books acts very much like a long or a buy for Bitcoin. So it makes
share my screen. Can you explain God candle real quick? Because some people are going to think this.
God candle is one of those, is what we just experienced yesterday. It's where you get a massive green, zoom in on any one of those.
They're 4-hour candles.
Yeah. So exactly. Those are 4-hour candles and you're just stacking them up in a row, in a row, in a row. Go to a daily. Go to the daily. There you go. That right there is a God candle. And where Bitcoin moves thousands and thousands of dollars and just wakes everybody up, brings
thousands and thousands
in minutes. It went from 112 to almost last night it hit 119 last night.
Yeah, we go to the 5-minute. You can see some of the moments where it was just, these are 5-minute candles just teleporting to the upside. They're just bing bing.
So all of the
This is
stuff
the period you're speaking of, though.
yeah, all that stuff we're about to break down is why you shouldn't be shorting it. And when people, well, I mean, you can scalp short. That's
Look at
different.
the length of this 5-minute candle.
Yeah.
This is one 5-minute candle.
Yeah.
116K on the top side, 113K on the bottom.
Right. And so that candle right there was a bunch of shorts getting liquidated. And then people try to revenge short and then they get wrecked again. So
yeah, they're piling up. They're like, all right. Whew. Okay, now we can start shorting.
Yeah.
Bing, and you lose all your money again.
So now that the order, and then what happens is once the order books are all cleared out and then some big buys come in, it's much easier to send that price up. And that's what we're experiencing right now. Now we're in price discovery. All the chart people are happy. Again, Peter Brandt, one of the best well-known technical traders out there, posting charts showing an invalidated breakdown, like basically saying Bitcoin supports stronger than it's ever been. And he's predicting a 2-year bull run now for it to just follow what gold did. So yeah, buckle up, guys. Get in the Discord. I see crypto DeFi airdrops dropped the link in there. It should be in the description. We're making insane money in there. If you guys aren't, we've got people teaching you how to trade, teaching you how to do DeFi. We even are potentially going to be rolling out some stuff too, where if you, this Discord is generally for people that have some capital. It's free to get into to learn. And then there's also a paid version if you want to do more. But we're going to be bringing some stuff. Like if you've only got $100 to trade with and you want to have that feeling of, hey, maybe I'm going to make 50K on my $100, we're going to be bringing some fun tournament style things in soon. So
I love it. I want to do a ping pong tournament. Actually, I want to play Battletoads on NES. Let's go over the 3 acts. Just a quick, brief assessment, because not everyone's giving you the alpha or what this actually means. They're just kind of, hey, the Clarity Act, then they move forward. Well, the Clarity Act, simply put, framework for the SEC and the CFTC. Oh, like clarity. So we get clarity there. It will provide an exemption from the Securities Act of 1933. So then maybe we can quit looking at the Howey Act or the Howey test, which is going over orange groves to determine how to, regulate the future of internet currency here. Next act we have is the Genius Act, the Stable Genius. This is just going to be regulatory framework for stable coins. What are they going to do here? Well, essentially, it defines what type of entities may issue stable coins, and they must maintain reserves on a one-to-one basis with dollars or other similarly liquid assets, aka bad U.S. debt or junk debt. So this is just going to hold treasury notes or T-bills, bad debt, essentially. And then number 3, Anti-CBD Surveillance State Act. And this is going to seek to prevent the Fed from issuing a CBDC. So those are going to be the 3 acts that potentially could be passed this week, although we're getting different timelines. I think you ask a Democrat in the House, they're going to say one thing. Yes, a Republican, they're going to say the other. We don't quite know just yet.
And we DeFi Crypto Airdrops said they did a deep dive on Genius Act yesterday. So that's one of our brother channels there. Go check them out, and you can get more info on them.
There you go. Now, back to the ETF inflows. Remember November 7th? I said, all right, well, what's going on with November 7th? Well, this was the second best day of inflows since the launch for spot Bitcoin ETFs. Wall Street bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin yesterday in one day. Remind you, in one day. Only 450 Bitcoin are mined. They're buying thousands of Bitcoin. So yesterday, 1.2 billion. So we're going to get into the November 7th in a second. A lot of you probably guessing what it means. So ETFs, the 1.17 here, just BlackRock, 448 million. Number 2, 324 million. That went to Fidelity. This was number 2 to the 1.37. Remember, we got 1.17. We got 1.37 November 7th, 2024. This is shortly after Donald Trump won the U.S. election. So what the heck did Bitcoin do after November 7th? So Wall Street just bought a crap load of Bitcoin ETFs or on behalf of their clients. It's the record day, November 7th. This is the second biggest day. TJ, do you think BlackRock's clients would be happy if we got 17 red daily candles in a row?
Not at all.
Probably not at all. And it probably wouldn't speak to the flows and the trend and where we're heading. And so let's go over the charts here. And I think I have it. November 7th. Well, look at that. After November 7th, it's this daily candle right here. Let me move it right there. We'll go to the 4-hour. Bitcoin went on a huge run. Should have just stuck on the daily. It teleported me away. But look at that there. November 7th is right in this area right here. Bitcoin consolidated a little bit higher and then went on another mega rally. I'm not going to do the full rally. Obviously, we're at all-time highs, But I do want to know, what about this short-lived rally? We pumped 31%. Short, another 22% pump. We're going to do both. What does a 22% pump for Bitcoin look like? What does a 31% pump for Bitcoin look like? 22%. And again, we're saying this because this is the day after Wall Street bought just massive amounts of Bitcoin. 22% pump gives us, drum roll please, $144,000 Bitcoin. Let's do the 31% pump here, chat. $155,000 Bitcoin. So smash that like button if you're ready for a $155,000 Bitcoin in short order. Let's do the 30. We'll do the 31% move. That took a little over a month, 38 days.
38
days.
That's, dude. Do you want some confluence? Because there's a lot of people calling for 150K Bitcoin by the end of August, or mid to end of August, which is about 40-ish days from now. Have you seen this chart?
That's we shared at the top of the show.
Yeah, and this is basically pointing.
Yeah, remember it was 147.
147. So it's just like we keep coming back to it over and over and over and over and over. And then on that inflow stuff, this is the same guy, Nate Girassi, who's one of the top ETF names and out there. Financial advisors who control an enormous amount of money have barely begun allocating to Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, I talked to family members and like, oh yeah, no, my financial advisor says run for the hills when anyone mentions Bitcoin.
One of the biggest ones out there, Vanguard, still gatekeeping, basically not allowing even their clients who want to participate in the IBIT ETF can't do it because they won't let them.
I sent a family member there and his financial advisor talked him out of it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is like 85K Bitcoin.
Right, and we're still seeing record inflows. Let that sink in, and then. You've got this guy, former Commerce Wilbur Ross Commerce Secretary, saying institutions are now allocating up to 7%. So if we really start to see, let that sink in. The biggest allocators in the world haven't even started. Some of the other ones are now being advised. Previously, people were talking about 1%, 2%, 3%. Now they're saying up to 7%. I just think it's going to get stupid. Now that we're in price discovery, the game theory is really kicking in. The cat's out of the bag. Now that institutions and nations have FOMO, what we've experienced in bull runs in the past is retail FOMO and maybe some speculative VC type FOMO from the, kind of the cutting edge minds that are really investing in emerging technologies. We have not even come close to experiencing institutional FOMO or nation state FOMO. And that's where some of these 400K numbers come from. Some of these crazy numbers. Again, the fact that they switched yesterday on the Bloomberg terminal to measuring Bitcoin in millions now.
That's the second time they've done that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did it in the past too. Then they switched back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all, in my opinion, foreshadowing for what's to come. I know I'm the permabull. I know I'm the one who's been saying over 200K this whole time, and you guys all called me crazy. I feel like I'm looking a little less crazy right now. It still hasn't played out yet, so I can't get too excited. But everything I see points to Bitcoin going up uncontrollably.
Let me share 1 second here.
Okay, where's he going? What's he doing?
I used to go to sleep and this pillow would be wet when I woke up, and it was wet from my tears.
Oh no,
it was wet this morning. It's for a different reason. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Let's talk about ETH real quick, everybody. Related to Wall Street buying, BlackRock had its highest daily inflows. So we saw second highest for Bitcoin total. BlackRock's ETH inflows, highest daily inflow on record in the past 24 hours. And let's talk about the way ETH works. So Bitcoin, 450 are mined every day. There's rewards every 10 minutes. Well, ETH, this is since the merge. It used to be proof of work, and then it went to proof of stake. This was supposed to make ETH deflationary, and it certainly did make ETH deflationary. You can see it right here, turned deflationary. Then the L2s came and started eating up all the transactions, and then ETH turned no longer deflationary, turned disinflationary, then into inflationary. And you can see right now, ETH has an inflation rate about 0.3. It's a little bit hard to see. So there is new ETH created daily at a rate of 0.3. It was down 0.37. So it used to be as deflationary, if not more, than it is inflationary today. So let's get into the numbers here. So in the past 24 hours, ETH was, remember, 0.3% inflationary. 2,000 ETH were created. They were via their proof of stake protocol. This was only $6 million worth. So remember, we're making 450 Bitcoin. It's $45 million. It was higher. It's 100. Yeah, it was like 50, 56, 57 million. ETH only made $6 million worth, far exceeding the total inflows, which were $383 million. So Wall Street is buying much, much, much more ETH than is being issued in a 24-hour period. And there's a world where when ETH starts getting used a lot more, it starts turning deflationary. Let's see if we get any kind of turnaround on the 30-day. I haven't checked this. I mean, it's steady. It's steadily inflating, but there's a world where ETH is going to turn deflationary again.
Well, and just for perspective, can you go to switch that bottom right corner, toggle to, isn't that what proof before? Like if it was stayed on proof of work, that's what the inflation rate used to be of ETH. So either way, or the emission rate, I guess is really what we should call it.
Yeah, true. It's emission rate.
Yeah. Well, and so just to be clear, that's part of why there is a difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Obviously, Bitcoin's one of its number one selling propositions is the hard cap, total supply, set supply, hard money. Ethereum isn't that. Ethereum is made for transactions. That's why there's an emission rate.
Technically, it's infinity.
Yeah, technically it's infinity, just like fiat, just like several other coins out there right now. And so that's why if you're long-term saving store value, Bitcoin's always going to hold your money better. But if you can hold some speculative altcoins at the right point in time to gain more Bitcoin, that's when you should be holding Ethereum. I think the demand for Ethereum is going to far exceed the new supply coming out, most likely for the next decade. And I'm going to be using altcoins to stack more Bitcoin. That's what we've done in the past. That's how we got to where we are. That's why we get to all come in and hang out and talk about crypto every day and don't actually have to really go to work. We were out for a birthday with everybody here in the thing, and somebody's spouse was giving us a hard time for saying we don't really have full-time jobs because we just come in, hang out, talk about crypto, and have fun trading. But it is work. We do get to have fun, but we didn't get there by not taking risks and by not stacking Bitcoin. So
probably 70% of the time TJ walks by my desk, I'm glaring into my computer screen exactly like this.
Yeah, that is true. We do work. We were giving her a hard time. DZ is one of the hardest workers out there. I'll say that.
All right. Next to James Brown. All right, let's talk about the bear. We haven't even talked about the liquidations. I'm sure the Cardano pillar. No, we haven't talked about the liquidations yet. The bears in disbelief. Not talking about SteadyBug. $1 billion in shorts were wiped out as Bitcoin pumps. Typically, there's going to be more leverage wiped out for longs than there is going to be for shorts. I think people are just a little bit more likely to long Bitcoin than short Bitcoin. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah. I mean, people I know, I guess.
Typically, high levels, they're probably, agnostic about it, but yeah, low level, people are just more comfortable longing. So this is still a huge liquidation event as people were betting against Bitcoin. So the short sellers were pummeled as Bitcoin surged to new all-time highs. Over $1 billion in short positions were liquidated in 24 hours. This affected almost 250,000 different accounts, 232,000 traders there. Now, the shakeout just shook the industry. One of the largest crypto liquidation events, though, was February 3rd. This was with $2.24 billion, but this was when Bitcoin was dumping, not when Bitcoin was pumping. This was after the tariff war. So when the tariffs ended up making everything dump, Bitcoin fell 5%, I'm along it. Oh, it fell another 5%, I'm along it. That was $2.24 billion. Now people, I'll say in my experience, when you short something and you get liquidated, you're like, oh, I'm done. I don't know what this is going to do. When you're longing it in a liquidated, you're like, well, that had to be the bottom. That had to be the bottom. We don't really say that. I don't personally recommend try to say, oh, yeah, it can't keep pumping. There is a bottom. It can only lose 100%. Bitcoin might gain 1,000,000% by the time it's all said and done here. So be careful betting on Bitcoin heading down. $2.24 billion on that day. But if it goes to that level we're looking at, another $2.1 billion in the longs are at risk if it hits that 112,000. And that's what we're looking at right here. Billions. This is just Binance. Billions are going to be liquidated if we end up, let me go to the 24. Billions are going to be liquidated if we end up hitting some of these levels. There's a huge magnet trying to pull Bitcoin down. So just be aware. There's a lot of traders saying we need to touch this level, then bounce. Otherwise, we're going to have an even sharper correction. I would tend to agree with that, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
The longer we go without a pullback, the worse that pullback's going to be. That just kind of typically works. This was the biggest one-day short liquidation event, though, since July 21. Bitcoin, after that short event, would rise another 95% through the end of the year. Folks, we are so back.
So, yeah, that right there, July 2021, big short, like that's, again, people shorts piling up, saying this is the top, we're going to go back down. They get wiped out. Order book's clean, 95% run after that. 6 months. It's almost exactly the same timeline, exactly the same thing we're playing out right now.
Yeah, June, July.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doldrums of the bear or the bull market, parabolic year 4.
So, and the 95% pump puts us over 200K.
Scared to keep that video keep playing. It has like old historical stuff. Like who knows what next. Speaking of shorts, James win. Did James win by longing? James Wynn decided to short. James Wynn turned into James loss. He got fully liquidated in less than 12 hours. Lost another 27 million. I saw part of one of the trades he opened was rewards from hype, because they're like, hey, you hit all these metrics. L Bank does the same thing. The more you trade, the more they'll reward you, whether it's winning or losing. And so he did a lot of trades. They gave him a big stack of cash. He immediately took it and shorted Bitcoin. Lost it all. It sucks to see.
It is sad.
What was his leverage though? I found an article with his leverage.
40x.
40.
Yeah.
God, James.
I think he was doing 40. I think most of his trades were 40x.
Yeah, he loves that 40x.
That whole thing, I don't know how I feel about it. I think most of those, my guess is those are stolen funds. It's some kind of hacker or something that doesn't really care. I don't know. None of that makes quite makes sense.
He got rich off Sheeb, I think, when they did that big deep dive. So that's almost the same thing as stolen funds.
Yeah,
or
money laundering,
free money at that point.
We got a couple questions coming in from the chat. It said, guys, do you think it's possible we don't have an alt season and Bitcoin just keeps flying?
Today's price activity makes me think no. We will have an alt
We
season.
will absolutely have an alt. Yeah, there's no chance we don't have an alt season after.
I don't say no chance,
okay, but
it's a high probability we have an alt season after seeing 20% pump on Cardano. You see those ETH inflows into BlackRock's ETF shares there, and so there's the signs are there. ETH BTC charts, total charts, others chart, all the macro charts are looking very, very bullish on the large time frames.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like so many coins. Well, I mean, you can keep going. Look at all of these things are over 20% in the last week. So I mean, that is alt. That is the beginning. This little altcoin index is going to be fun to watch. This is altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin. I think is it the top 100? Yeah, it's the top. So 30 of the coins in the top 100 have outperformed Bitcoin. When this starts getting into 40 and 50 is when we're in true alt season. I do believe we will see alts move. I am still very heavily allocated to Bitcoin. I probably won't change that mix too much. Because I'm also got a pretty fat bag of a lot of altcoins. And
Cardano's up to 21.6% pump now, by the way.
It's still running, huh?
XLM also in the 20% range. XLM has now hit, where is it at? It's around here.
Yeah.
XLM, I must have passed it.
Right, it's right there.
I'm
right
blind. 21.4%.
Yeah. That's one that I might want to be stacking into a little bit more right now. I've got a lot already in the RWA sector. And I'd be interested to do, is it 80 cents that's been the hard resistance for Cardano recently? Like the last year or two, or did it get over it? Was it $1?
It hit $1.30.
$1, okay. Yeah.
Here, let me just go to about the past year or so. So we're gonna slide this timeline over here about midway through 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, it's teleported to $1.30. It wicked into 131.
That was December. Yeah, okay, December.
And then it was just a slow bleed.
Interesting.
I turned a little bit of this into Bitcoin, and then I swapped back into ADA too soon. If I'm
what level? After that second spike, and you see how it kind of consolidates right there. Yeah, that. What's that range at the bottom of it?
About 64 cents.
Oh yeah, never mind. That's
you're talking about right here. 55.
No. So you got the huge spike, the second huge spike, right? Go to that.
The second huge spike.
Well, third huge spike, I guess.
Okay, third. Yeah, and then it dips.
No, never mind.
The peak here.
No, the next peak. Go to the next peak. Over and then down. Right there. What is that price?
70 cents.
70 cents. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're approaching that level right now to where if we can get back above that 70-80 cents range, we could probably teleport back up to at least that fourth peak, which is probably around $1 if I had
Folks,
to guess.
if you hold some Cardano, smash that like button, everybody. I know we got a lot of ADA holders out there lurking. They're lurking in the background. We're going to do a little bit of more of a deep dive in Cardano in 1 second, but I did want to look at the all-time highs. I know we were talking about this ahead of time. EU still net at an all-time high. Why? Because you saw the strength of the dollar was falling. UK, the pound, 2.3%. And what is this right here? It looks like Swiss flag. I don't know. This one's 5.2. I should have looked at that ahead of time. But yeah, depending on your currency, you might not even be at new all-time highs. So something interesting there. Will Clemente, hot take. Even he is saying this is hopium. We haven't seen any significant buyers that came out publicly and announced like that they bought like Tesla last cycle. This is hopium. But what if we get a Bezos, Elon, or Zuck come out and say, hey, I put 5% of my net worth into this thing. Media frenzy and retail wave to ensue. And I would agree with that. Yeah, sure. We got MicroStrategy and Similar Scientific and MetaPlanet. None of those are on the same realm as a Tesla, a Bezos, or a Zuck.
Yeah.
So do you think we get something within that wheelhouse?
Yeah, I think we'll get Elon. I mean, he's already saying the American party is stacking Bitcoin. He's bought a ton through Tesla and XRP. I think he's up close to $1 billion.
Another wave of Elon bull posts.
Mm-hmm. I think we
Democrats hate him now, though. So half the country hates him. Can he have the same power that he had in the early part of 2021? Because he would tweet Doge. Initially, he'd tweet Doge and it pumped. But Democrats liked him. Republicans liked him. Most people, they didn't really care about his politics. Now half the country doesn't like him.
I don't think it matters as much if people like him. Whether it's true or not, a lot of people think of him as the richest man in the world. And when the richest man in the world says what he's doing with his finances, people listen. And that's just the way it goes. We can get into it later of how he's not really, but he's just the one that the real rich people don't want you to know how rich they are. And so that, you don't know their names. But right now,
Alan Dershowitz knows their names.
Who does?
He saw the whole client list.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Alan Dershowitz.
That's true.
That basically answered all our suspicions.
Yeah.
Right. I heard someone frame it this way. The administration was winking as hard as they can. That obviously we can't say what's on the files because it's probably everything you suspected. All right, let's talk about Google trends. I know people were talking about retail's not even here. We're at 116K with zero hype. This is going to get stupid. What do I love about this Mr. Hodl post? Have you seen this yet?
Yeah.
Have you saw what he was tweeting or quoting?
I did. I don't remember.
This is great. So we're at 116 with zero hype. This is going to get stupid. He quoted himself from 2020. We're at 16K with zero hype. This is going to get stupid.
That's awesome.
Love that post right there. Love that post. So yeah, there's still a giant wave of retail.
What was the date in 2020 on that?
November
2020.
November 12th.
Right before the fun.
Yeah, right before the fun. And of course, Bitcoin passed the previous all-time highs in December of that year. And then from December to was about March, April. Whoo, it was a great time in crypto. And that's when I started working here, by the way.
Super chat from King D. Have some dry powder. Would you be buying alts or wait?
I always do the scaling in. So when Bitcoin dipped to 74, I only deployed 30% of my funds. Am I mad I didn't deploy all the funds because I was buying Aave, Tesla, Bitcoin? I think it was Chainlink. Am I mad? Sure, it would have been awesome to buy all that $150 Aave. Sure, it would have been awesome to buy all that 80K Bitcoin. But I would not recommend full porting all at once. You're going to feel a lot better only, missing out on, I still got 70% of my dry powder on the sideline versus you buy and then those alts fall 70%. That is a much worse feeling. So I would say go ahead and deploy 10, 20% right now. So that'd be my advice.
But you're saying into alts. His question was kind of like, should I be buying altcoins?
Yeah, or wait to buy altcoins. So that's what I saw as the two choices.
Or wait. Yeah, I gotcha.
So I would say, go ahead and deploy 20, 30% into the altcoins. Now, which ones would you buy? To me, one of the main ones that hasn't caught the pump yet is Chainlink. Just starting to, but Aave has overpumped, XRP, Solana, Cardano, and I would kind of put it in that basket of like the really, really strong top 10 altcoins there. So that's my advice. All right, so this is an interesting factoid about MicroStrategy. For every $1,000 that Bitcoin appreciates, at this point, his balance sheet increases $597 million.
Wow.
It went up 2.7 billion in one day.
Yeah. It's gonna get stupid. Like I saw a clip that was interesting from Dylan LeClaire on Coin Stories with Natalie Brunell, and he was saying basically that he thinks all of the most valuable companies in the world are going to be Bitcoin treasury companies, whether that means companies that are Bitcoin treasury companies climb the ladder, or some of the biggest companies in the world just put some Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So it could still be Apple, but they will also have Bitcoin in their treasury, and companies that don't will slowly fall. So, and I pretty much agree with that. I think 10 to 15 years from now, at whatever the top 10 on the stock market is, they will all have Bitcoin in their treasury, because of that math you just showed. I mean, that's some insane math to think.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that they made $2.7 billion in one day. I mean, that's going to get people's attention.
Unrealized.
Of course, unrealized. Yeah, you go look at his unrealized. Look at what his unrealized is for the quarter. Look at what it's been, for the last year. It's just, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So, yeah, it's. I'm not ready to say it yet, but like again, you guys thought I was crazy for saying 220, 200 with 20K either side. I'm slowly getting around to the 400K, level price action very soon.
What if Josh is updating his calls? He was saying 140, right?
Yeah, I asked him. Yeah, see, I thought it was 120. He did say 130. I asked him about that yesterday because I thought it was 120. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to update your price target. And he said, no, he still thinks it's gonna range between 120 and 130. And I said, all right, well, fine. When we're over 130, I'll come back and ask you to update it.
Yeah, we'll go, aha.
Yeah.
Here's a very, very bullish outcome. There are 3 reasonable outcomes for Bitcoin. If it just turns into digital gold, it's $1 million a coin. If it turns into the global reserve asset, $10 million a coin. And if it turns into global money, $42 million a coin. And that's just kind of adding up all the assets, and everything would be priced in Bitcoin, not dollars there. So nice, bold targets there for you. But it'd still have the same, have increased purchasing power. But in this scenario, $42 million is not $42 million. What would you, if just ballpark a number in this crazy scenario where Bitcoin is global money and each Bitcoin costs $42 million, what is 42 million worth in today's prices?
You mean like you're talking about like buying power?
Yeah, purchasing power. It'd be like $1 million, or it'd be like full blown wheelbarrow to buy a loaf of bread.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because that's the other part of the flip the coin. That's the part people don't talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many variables there that to predict. If you're talking, depending on how far out you go, how much demand have we created through stable coins with the dollar? Because there is a lot of demand. The dollar's having its worst year ever, and I do believe stable coins getting out there can help support the demand on the dollar. So there is a chance that the buying power stops eroding as quickly as it is for a time. So. Could it be? But to your point, it will be dramatically less. Either way, it will be dramatically less than it is today. But is it 1 million? Is it 10 million? Is it 25 million worth of purchasing power on that 42? I have no idea.
Who knows?
Either way, I'll be glad to be in Bitcoin.
All right. Well, we need to take Josh to the betting platforms when it comes to Bitcoin price prediction. So let's look at what is smart money betting on Bitcoin's price. So this is Kalshi, I think. So a base case here, Kalshi, $141,000 by the end of 2025. Let's go to Polymarket here. So these are the numbers. We have 90% of people are saying, we definitely hitting 120.
Yeah.
So if you put down $1, you're going to win $1.10. 130,000. Now only 2 out of 3 bettors are saying, I think it can go that high. 150, we're talking 42%. 200K, only about 1 out of 6 people here, 17%. So 1 out of 6 people think it's going to 200K. That's good upside if you believe that, pretty concretely, TJ.
So I get paid out like 5 to 1 basically, or
with fee. Yeah, roughly? I mean, it should be closer to 6 to 1.
6 to 1.
There, but
I was rounding up, I guess.
6 to 1 would be technically a 16.67% with, of course, the line on top there. So right there. Now 250 quarter million, 8%. And I think this is just people who like moonshot. You're like, all right, I'll throw $100 on it. I don't think too many people are seriously entertaining that idea there. but 90%, 120, pretty much set in stone. I love how bullish everyone is hitting 70K. What are your I mean, would you say that's about right? 15% odds? Whew, 4% hitting 20. I mean,
Well, did it hit?
I would say 20,000 is more likely than a million. Reluctantly, I guess.
I don't know how that works because it started the didn't. Oh, maybe it didn't.
So like hit it from today. If it hits a price, then that is removed from this betting sheet, and then it could be re-added by a future bettor.
Yeah, I would definitely take the 200. The 200K bet there looks like the best bet. The 150, you're not really probably getting paid out enough there, but yeah, 200, it might be a little on the high side, and that's probably why the odds are a little bit longer. But that's the bet I'm taking. 200K Bitcoin. Throw $5,000 on it, see what happens.
This is a good question from Dylan. Does that mean 90% of people are selling at 120K? No, because still 67% think, oh, we're going higher. We're going higher.
And there's a big difference between gamblers and traders too. Like these are people you bet on these based on odds. It's not you can have somebody that might take the 150K bet and not sell any, and then take the winnings from it and buy more Bitcoin with it. They're not selling Bitcoin necessarily. They're just trying to make money. So.
All right. Well, if you're trying to make money with Cardano, I got the master chart for you. Okay. Call me master and commander. Breaking ADA testing the 50-week EMA. Last two times Cardano passed this threshold, Cardano pumped 212% and 128%. You add that up, you split it in half, you get 170% average. 170% pump. We'll put ADA at $1.77. I just did this post this morning, starting to go a little viral here. This is the charts I'm talking about. So let's go to daily. Look at that. This is the 50-week EMA crossover. Let me get it. I don't know why it's not. God, I'm so blind trying to see this translucent X. I think it's this one. Yeah. No, I'm blind, y'all. So just bear with me. I'm sorry I can't see. I'm sorry I'm blind. There we go. And then I have to hit the settings, but I'll mess with that later. Looks like we have actually blasted past it. I think I'm pretty sure it's the turquoise line here. We go to settings. So this is 20, remove it. 50, 100, remove it. So we got the 50 and the 200 plotted here. You can see, wow, this morning when I did this post, you can kind of see it if you got the sharp eyes. You can see literally right at that line. And then you come here, boom, look at that, folks. Oh, wow. My God, I'm way off. It's on the weekly. There we go. So you can see the orange line right there. Can you still see that, TJ?
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
All right, we can make it thicker.
I was gonna say, why doesn't TradingView do that? Yeah, so you can adjust that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Way better.
Boy.
Yeah.
Make it a thick boy. So what happened last time we passed this? That's what the post was about there. Well, you can see last time, I'm not doing moonshot math, like coming down from the bottom of the wick there. We see when we passed that, huge 212% pump, passed it right there, huge 128% pump. So I'm liking my Cardano math here. How do you feel about that target right there?
I think it looks good.
Is that a good target? About $1.75?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at too. If we can break some of those key resistance, it's going to move up there fast. I don't know. Swoops is saying, look at the MACD crosses on the weekly. I don't know what they're seeing there, but Cardano, dinosaur coins, I think are going to have a really good second half of this year. Whether you're talking about Cardano, XRP, HBAR, some of the newer ones, SUI and Sol. I do think we're in the part where we see a lot of the majors moving. The top 10, the top 20 are going to have big gains. Lower down, I'm still heavy in Curve, which is moving. I'm heavy in Arrow and a lot of the DeFi stuff that we all talk about on this. Those are going to move as well. But it's easy money. I saw this chat come in. I guess I finished up this TA, I guess, but then I want to ask this question because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Oh, XRP is pumping.
Oh, it's moving.
I saw a lot of people posting about XRP like 10 minutes ago. Then I just saw another wave of people like XRP, look at XRP.
Yeah.
XRP's going nuts.
And I agree with Victor here. He said, if you're not putting money into ETF coins, you might as well leave the sector. Easy wins. And this is part of what we've been talking about. We've been breaking down all the different ETF baskets that are being launched, the weighting. XRP's included in a lot of them. ADA's included in a lot of them. Obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana included in a lot of them. And I agree exactly with what he's saying. Those are basically slam dunk, easy 5Xs, even on large cap coins that have lower risk than something that you're going, into the 3 to 4 to 500s on CoinMarketCap or even lower. So The big caps that have institutional clarity and regulation behind them and big money moving them, I think are just slam dunk easy wins. So stack those up now and thank us later.
Now I do have some Grayscale altcoin lists for you in a second. I might do a video on it. Now Cardano, yeah, people just talking about this. I already covered that pretty much. Oh, this is great. Did you see the meme from the White House official account?
Yeah, I did.
This is literally our White House. This is the gray checkmark official government account. Panikins are the hardest hit.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. That's Josh and the XRP chart right there. Love it. All right, now Rumble is going to start doing wallets. MoonPay is going to be integrated exclusively into the new Rumble wallet. Buy, sell, swap crypto right inside the wallet. I think this is primarily, though, so you could tip the content creators. Creators, it's time to get paid your way.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Rumble fam out there.
Loving what they're doing over at Rumble. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hey, look at this. It's party day. Byron Hardy gifted 10 Disco crypto memberships. Awesome. Appreciate you.
Hardy's was my second job ever.
Hardy's?
Hardy's.
Nice.
Yeah, I did the drive-through as a teenager. Tough job. Very tough job.
Yeah, you gotta be moving quick. They got that. You're literally on a clock when you're running the
I stole
drive-through.
fried chicken all the time. There's a dead zone for the camera, and I would just walk by and I would just grab a drumstick, and then I would just like hide in the dead zone. And I would just be like, all right, I can't move this far, this far, or this far, but if I stand right here, I'm eating the drumstick, baby.
When it comes to Rumble,
what I admitted a crime. I feel bad.
Yeah, it's all right. Statute, it's probably a long time ago.
I was working there last summer. Bear market.
A lot of people don't realize that Tether is basically the majority owner of Rumble now. They made a strategic investment and they more or less own Rumble. One of the most,
and that really makes me think so it is very, very hard to crack network effects. Unless like you're a billionaire and then you can kind of fake it till you make it. Tether can make this a success.
Yeah. I mean, and they've got Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're one of the Bitcoin treasury companies. They're one of the few that are for freedom of, a freedom-based platform, free speech. And if they can get some discoverability going, if they can help creators earn on their platform, which that's what we're trying to help them with. We're partnered with Rumble, big fans of everything they're doing. We've met them a couple different times. We'll probably be doing something at their studio here in Miami later this year. Cool. But I'm just positive to see good people that want freedom of speech out there. Another Bitcoin company. I just love to see it. MoonPay, another good integration. So yeah.
Right. Hardy's, Carl's Jr. corporate balance sheet. You just got DZ'd by the DZ dead zone.
Oh.
Double DZ. All right, let's move forward here. This is very, very interesting about BNB. Not a lot of people are understanding its quarterly burn. It does a quarterly burn. So BNB full-blown deflationary at this point. So BNB, climbing towards $700. They just burnt $1 billion worth of their tokens. The token burn is part of their deflationary strategy to cut the total supply to 100 million tokens. Now, Binance it's their 32nd quarterly burn. You're like, God, they've been doing this 8 years, man. They permanently removed about 1.59 million BNB from circulation, about $700 a piece. Now the value burned 265. I did a little research. I found their little page here. This is the total burn to date. This is the circulating supply. Total amount was 202 million. So essentially this red line is going to go right at the 50% way. So we're just past halfway through the burns here. So maybe, I don't know, about 24 more quarterly burns here. And then they'll burn 100 million BNB. So just BNB, don't sleep on that altcoin. SharpLink this morning bought another 10,000 ETH. It's about $25 million. This is why I wanted to share this. Look, they did OTC with the ETH Foundation. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Do you like that or hate that? I like it better than selling into Binance.
Yeah.
I hate it more than just hodling it forever.
Yeah, I think no, it actually makes a lot of sense to me if you think about what they're doing. What's changed in the last since the Ethereum Foundation had their drama 3 or 4 months ago? When was that they were going back and forth about having people split out and creating a group that's going to help get the price up? I can't remember exactly when that was.
There's the ETH Foundation, then one of the ETH core devs founded an offshoot called the ETH Foundation DAO.
Right.
Which kind of, I don't want to say maybe trying to play with using a very similar name, maybe not. I don't know.
But what's interesting to me is what we've seen happen in the last couple months is a flurry of Ethereum treasury companies. And so getting the supply, I mean, it's really not much different. What they're doing is they're moving it over into a publicly held, much more advertised vehicle that's going to get a lot more attention, and it's going to get, celebrated for the gains. So it could sit in the ETH Foundation forever and nobody would ever talk about it, or they move it over to this other company that's talking about it on the stock market, that's going on Bloomberg, that's going on CNBC. We got Tom Lee from Fundstrat out there. You're getting
he's out there voicing bull market theses till his voice is raw.
Nice. You got Joseph Lubin out there doing it as well, and so I think this is part of that strategy. And so I'm all for it. Keep doing it. Let's get some ETH treasury companies out there. Let's see their stock prices run, and let's get ETH over 10K.
What trade is DZ in right now? Well, we do have a trade open on L Bank. Remember, I said at the beginning of the show, I heard it. I'm pretty sure I triggered a fart coin long, small amount, going low, kind of waiting for some liquidity levels to get swept out. And then I got another second entry, a little bit lower. If it drops 20%, yeah, I'm just going to cut and run, take my wins, and escape into the outhouse there. Let's check. All right, you can see right there, open long. So that's when you go to the page there, and they're both in profit.
Hey,
Altcoin's up 4%, 21x, and Aave's directly like right at the entry point here. And you can see here's my Aave thesis. So just kind of coming in now. I'm $1 in the loss there, nothing major. 15-minute chart. I think I got some entries like right around here. I'll look. It is at 308 even. So I got some entries coming in right at these wicks. This is 15-minute candles. The reason why I'm like, all right, there might be a very lucrative trade. You're seeing Cardano pump. You're seeing XRP pump. There's a good chance Aave is going to pump. And look at the breakout potential right there, TJ. So this is going to go one of two directions. It's going to go down fast and swift, or it's going to go up fast and swift. We are protected to the downside. We'll cut and run. But if this does a breakout, I mean, this is going to be, I don't want to say a quick move to 400, but it's going to be a pretty nice move to 400. I don't think I keep the trade open that whole time, but so there's the Aave trade. So if you're wondering about the trade, there you go. And later on after the stream, we're going to do a quick members only stream. And if it's going to be in the Discord, so you can come join in the Discord, but we're also going to post it to the members only tab on YouTube. So don't worry about if you can't watch it live or you got to eat lunch. Now, this is the last thing I want to share here. 28 new tokens might be added or have been added to assets under consideration. This is just a good bellwether for what BlackRock might like 2 years from now, maybe 2 months from now at this rate. And so what are the 28 tokens? I just went straight to the source material, found it right here. And so they have different crypto, products here. Smart contract platforms. They also have like essentially DeFi, financial transaction services, consumer culture. That's going to be like meme coins, AI, and then utilities. This is going to be, like the chain links. And so here's their current list, but here's the 28 considering. So smart contracts, Aptos, Arbitrum, is it Cello? CeLo.
CeLo is how I say it.
Mantle, Mega ETH, Monad, Toncoin. Again, just under consideration. No guarantee it's going to be added. DeFi, Arrow, BNB, Deep, Athena, Euler, Hype. We have Jupiter, Camino, Lombard, Maple, Morpho, Pendle, Plume. Then we got memes. They might add Bonk. And my bad eyes first saw Polygon, and I was like, no way they did that. No, Playtron. I actually haven't heard of that one. And then AI, they might do AI XBT, Grass, Prime Intellect Story, or Virtuals. A few good ones in there. And then for utilities, Jito, Zero, Walrus, Wormhole. Of the ones I just listed, what's some of your faves? I like Wormhole. I think Zero might be good if the VCs will stop selling. Aerodrome, of course, we like. I don't know. That'd be my few that I like there. I think Bonk's going to pump with the new phone. But, well, what do you got if you're just buy a couple?
Yeah, I mean, Plume, I like leaning into that midsection. They got Aave Curve Maker on the left there, but the new ones to add Pendle, Plume, Morpho.
Yeah, I like the DeFi additions more than all the other
It's
ones.
basically, if I had to pick a section, it'd be that whole chunk you just highlighted.
And Ondo's already in there.
Right.
Uniswap's already in there. Maker, Curve, and Aave.
Virtuals, obviously, I like. I'm interested. So I saw somebody asking about Story early. Oh wait, I'm not doing the switching like I'm supposed to. I saw somebody asking about Story IP earlier. Good concept. Good. You know, if the tech seems to be holding up. It's a very competitive space. It's needed in this space. So I haven't done a deep dive on it yet, but you know, that one's interesting. Virtuals, but other than that, when it comes to the utility ones, there like Layer 0, Jitto, Wormhole, I think they're all extremely strong projects.
Yeah, you see these leading the way on DeFi Llama. A lot of times. Maybe not Layer 0.
You don't always see them leading the way on price gains, and so it's almost like the boring stuff that's good and relevant and needed and, you know, helps the industry grow doesn't always get people excited. You know, like if you look at what's next to it there, right? Like Lido, I guess, did well. Chainlink will do well. Like we need it, but like Filecoin, Pith, Graph, you know, synthetics.
Yeah, Pith was probably going to do well till Chainlink came to Solana.
Right. True. Layer 0, Wormhole, both extremely relevant to getting things done. Jitto as well. I know a lot of people are big fans of Jitto, but I don't know. I don't think I would start there. I think I would start with the DeFi RWA section. I like virtuals. You know, I can't decide how I feel about Grass. You know, the coin. So.
Oh, there you go, folks. All right, that's our momentous Friday episode. We're about to go straight into the member stream. So I'm going to knock that out. We got a lot of good content out this weekend. I think we're going to do another trading vlog. And I might have to do a little Bitcoin, where do we go next video, and just use the data and just list out the probabilities so we can all make the best decisions to give ourselves financial freedom, because that's what the name of the game is here for. We're here to create more sats. We're here to create a legacy, a bloodline. I want, again, the oil paintings, your grandchildren, they're going to fashion them. They're going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, they were such a freaking legend. In fact, I'm going to tattoo them on my chest like a Tupac memorial. That's all we got. Oh, we got one $10 super.
Yeah, I got to hit this before we go.
What do you think about Solana top price targets compared to XRP, which has more potential, and is a Solana ETF coming? Man, I hate to say it like this, but I literally did that exact video 2 days ago. I do a risk analysis, probabilities, you know, of going up to the downside, upside. What are the potential targets? You did pay $10. I tell you what, I'll look out for you here. Essentially, I say, you know, I have a bullish thesis, which was the Trump pump. And so I look at all the altcoins and what do they pump after Trump was elected? And then I say, what is the drawdown? And then comparing the two numbers, where is the, you know, what's the risk reward here? And I'll say this, Solana was the safest bet.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Solana was the safest bet. So if you really want to get more into the details, it's only a 7-minute video, and I literally cover those two tokens there.
There you go. Well, smash the like buttons on the way out, guys. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want us to cover in the future, coins you're interested in, things, you know, founders you might want to see on the show or whatever. We'll see you guys in the Discord for the members, and we'll see you at the top.
All-time high.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.